So I don't normally do this. I'm not like a anime channel or anything, but I was watching Dragon Ball Super and it ended this past Sunday. It was the 131st episode. I know it's a lot of episodes, more than I was gonna have. But put me in the mood to start playing Dragon Ball Fighters again. And I also just wanted to discuss my feelings on this series real quick. It won't be super long, I promise. Overall, I feel like this series was a lot of wasted potential. So let me get the good out the way first, because that's pretty easy. I like the fact that they added more to the lore. Like, I know the movies introduced the idea of, gods of destruction in different universes, but they still implemented that into the series. So I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. I also liked the idea of having a tournament to decide the fate of other universes. I thought that was pretty cool. And sometimes the animation was really good. Like in last episode, animation was really, really good. I think that's most of the good. I know. Okay. Also, one thing, Vegeta, they bettered his character. I should say Vegeta was much more better character in Super than I thought he'd be. Probably the best character, like overall character. Now let's get to the not so good parts. Not so good parts, because there's a lot of those. But I want to keep this kind of brief. I just felt like it was more of the same. And I know it's like, well, dude, it's Dragon Ball Z, like, it's what we expect. And I get that, like, I understand, like, it has to hit the certain notes that makes it what it is. But I feel like it should be modernized, Like, I think My Hero Academia does a really good job at having those tropes and modernizing, so like people can, enjoy the story on multiple levels. Whereas Dragon Ball Super is more or less Dragon Ball Z, which again is fine if you like that stuff, but for me, I feel like it should have grown with the audience. Like, people say it's for kids or whatever, but come on, like we all watch it. And there's other animes out there, quote unquote, for kids, like again, My Hero Academia, but it still has a level of depth that Dragon Ball simply does not have. My issue with Dragon Ball Super is that it sets up all these things, it has so many interesting avenues to go, and it just abandons all of it. Like, Super Saiyan God was a whole big deal, right? Like, made a whole movie about that. It was a whole big deal. And then nothing really comes of that. Could go Super Saiyan God once, and then after that it's just Super Saiyan Blue, which is like fine. That's like a more powerful version, or like a more controlled version of it. That's cool. But then you never even get the sense of Super Saiyan Blue actually being super powerful. Like, in the other series, in Dragon Ball Z, when Goku went Super Saiyan against Frieza, like, you could tell, like, that transformation put him leagues above Frieza, where Frieza had no shot. Like, you could tell, like, okay, this is a powerful warrior. But with the Blue, you never see Goku actually go up against anyone where it would seem like he has the clear advantage because of his form. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't translate well to, like, oh, this is a more powerful form. And that issue persisted with me throughout the whole series. Like, Dragon Ball becoming a Super Saiyan God was such a big deal, and then Goku and Vegeta become Super Saiyan Blue, and then suddenly everyone scales up to them. And I'm like, that should have been more of a gradual thing. I feel like everything happened so quickly, where, like, remember, Beerus is supposed to be like, not the big bad, but like the ceiling for them to break through. And then as the series goes on, it's like, Beerus who? Because now we have, Goku Black, who was just a waste of an arc. And then you have like people from other universes, and then you have like Jiren, who ends up being like what, more powerful than his universe's God of Destruction, but Goku's able to keep up with him and surpass him. So then he's stronger than what, Beerus? Like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't really do a good job of putting the powerful people on display, and I felt like it made it less important, had less stakes to it, had less drama to it, because it was like, you build up these characters and you do nothing with them, like just like they do with the other characters like Gohan. Everyone's gonna get on you for this, like, oh, you're such a Gohan fanboy or whatever, but the way they did his character, I'm like, either have him not involved or involved, because then when you do shit like spoilers, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that, but spoilers, but when you do shit like making him the captain of universe of teams, universe 7, right? Whatever universe they are. Sorry, I haven't interested in universes. I'm not doing research. I'm bringing off the top of my head, but I have been watching the series. Having him being the team captain of that universe, and then having the final fighters be Goku, Frieza, Android 17, and Jiren. I feel like Android 17 is such a left field character. It would have been much more like completed. I'm not even saying Gohan has to be like the ultimate winner, but like to have, you know, father and son fighting against a powerful enemy for once. You know what I mean? Like, have a moment like that. Or have it be Goku and Vegeta going against it. But no, it's Goku, Frieza, and Android 17. Who, again, is just, like, thrown in there. Because, like, why not? They didn't use Majin Buu at all. And I'm like, you have a pretty powerful character, and you just make him a joke character. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then, just a lot of wasted potential. Like, obviously there's some good things happening here. Like I mentioned before, but I'm sure other shit that I'll go back watching series and go, okay, that's pretty cool. But the overall feeling I got from this series was just wasted potential. Like you could have done so much. Perfect example. With the introduction of the other universe Saiyans, right? Because first you meet them in the not the tournament of power, that's the last one, but it's like the second. Yeah, God, so many tournaments. They had the first time you meet the other universe warriors, and you meet Kaba for the first time. He's a Saiyan from a different universe where the Saiyans are like not dicks. I'm like, you could have had a thing where maybe, you know, they go to that universe, or maybe that universe becomes the focus of the next arc, and Goku and Vegeta have to help him out or something like that, you know? Like, let us see the world of Dragon Ball. Let us do some actual world building instead of just mentioning these places and showing us 4 people. Let's go there. Let's see what that world or universe is like. You know, have like a grand adventure. Didn't do that. And then you have Goku Black. And I thought, okay, cool. Maybe this is a version of Goku who landed on Earth and didn't hit his head. And so he just became this, like, you know, Saiyan monster who wiped out all of humanity and all this shit. Nope. It's just a Goku who was taken over by Zamasu. Which that whole thing was just a clusterfuck. Because that's supposed to be apparently the same Earth, but different timelines. Because that's the universe where Future Trunks is from, when he killed Cell and the androids. But then I'm like, if that's the case, shouldn't Goku be dead because he died of a heart attack in that timeline? So we have a different timeline, same universe, different Earth situation going on? I don't really know. They ended up just erasing the whole universe. So like, it was a moot point. Like, nothing that saga mattered because it got reset to 0. Like, blah. And then you have the Universal Survival arc. Okay, so the last one's called Universal Survival Tournament of Power. Yeah, okay. So you have that whole thing with the tournament, meeting Jiren and all those people. And it's just a big ass fight, which is cool. But then it's like, you know what's gonna happen at the end. Like, you don't have to watch it. You know who's gonna win. Dragon Ball Z universe is gonna win, obviously. And you know they're just gonna wish back the other universes. So I feel like they could have just not gone that route. Like, maybe have like a multiversal invasion arc. Maybe there's some universe that's invading other universes, and so they all band together, being their strongest people, find out who their top strongest people are, and then have them go confront the evil. Like, that could have been cool. Like, obviously you have to hammer it out, but like, I just feel like they had so many cool ideas they introduced that had like such potential, and they were just like, nah, let's just have 2 fucking kings or 2 Zenos and just leave it at that. And I'm like, I thought the Omni King was like the one king, the king of all. How there can be 2 kings of all? Like, that makes no sense. Yeah, man, I'm just rambling right now, but that's why I left some, you know, Dragon Ball Z Fighters footage in the background. But it just felt like, what was the point of bringing this back if the only thing you really added was the multiverse and new Super Saiyan power-ups? Because that's pretty much it. They not any really significant characters. Like, that's another thing I hate too. They introduce a character that's cool or interesting, and then within like 2 episodes they're done. Like, the whole hit with Goku thing. Like, I thought that fight was lots of bullshit, but it was also pretty cool, but it was bullshit. Like, you can't tell me that Goku can use a power-up to move faster than stop time, but then you also doesn't make any sense that Hit, who's never had to train, suddenly just learns how to power up and increases his power during the fight. Like, to me, that's just lazy writing. It's the same thing I did with Frieza when they're like, oh, Frieza was so powerful he never had to train, and now that he's trained, he has a new form. Like, that's, come on. Like, he's never had to train ever. Like, come on. Like, no. So that was always weird to me too, but they introduced Hit. He has the cool abilities and whatever, and then you never see anything come from that, because next time you see Hit, he's in the tournament and he gets destroyed by Jiren. Like, he's barely in the scenes after that. Same thing for Kaba. Kaba fights Vegeta. Vegeta's like his mentor or whatever. They don't really have that much of a mentoree relationship. And then it's, you know, his universe is gone. Then he comes back at the very end. what else? There was something else really like, oh, this is so fucking stupid. I've never talking about this. Oh, I didn't like the fact that they made Goku seem a lot dumber. Like, I know he was being simplistic and love fighting, but like, he was never to the point where he put the entire universe in jeopardy. And here he was out suggesting things that put multiple universes in jeopardy. And I was like, that's so not your character. And you're like way dumber. Like, you never kissed your wife? Really? You've never kissed Chi-Chi one time? Like, how was Vegeta, who was never even born on Earth, better at Earth customs than you were? Like, your Grandpa Gohan did a shitty job raising you. Like, no wonder he got smashed when he turned into a giant ape. But, yeah, I didn't like the revision to his character because he just seemed more just like, all I want to do is fight. And I'm like, Vegeta has that same instinct, but Vegeta's like, I have a family. I gotta, you know, at the very least make sure they're okay before I go off and training and shit. The series should be about Vegeta. Vegeta's much better character than Goku. The series really made Goku like he's a piece of shit. And I also like the little plot lines they left hanging out. Like, I know they're going to probably do another series, but still, it's like, I would have liked to have seen Goku and Vegeta go against Beerus. You know what I mean? Because that's how the series kind of started. Like, that was like their end goal, was to be able to fight, you know, God Destruction. And then you never see that come to fruition. So it's kind of just like it's a tease. Like, oh, it seems to me like the writers had no idea how to work this series, so they're just throwing shit at Star Wars, you know, and then saw what stuck. Because there could have been a very easy through line with Beerus. And Beerus as a character, I feel like, is also wasted too, because he's a god of destruction, yet I think the most he does is erase a version of Zamasu, and that's it. Like, I know he shouldn't be involved in everything, but it's like, use him. You know, that's my biggest thing too. It's like, you have these characters here, you don't have to introduce newer characters. I mean, yeah, you could introduce new characters, but it's like, you don't have to, you know, because you would have a bevy of characters and you just go away from them. I don't understand that. But to keep this shorter, basically, I feel like this series was a lot of wasted potential. They had so many cool avenues where they could do cool shit, and they decided not to do it. They wanted to play it relatively safe, and I feel like that playing it safe and this pacing, my god, the pacing is so archaic. And I understand it's Dragon Ball and the fans love it, but it's like, I consider myself a fan and I hate that shit. Like, that's why you had like 9 different versions of Dragon Ball Z, like Dragon Ball Z, and you had like a Dragon Ball Z version was just funny, did it, and they had like all that shit. Then they had Dragon Ball Kai, because like they're like, whoa, we have too much filler. Like, you thought they would learn from that, but no. Here's like 50 episodes full of filler, which amounts to a series that's just basically 2 tournaments. Like, that's it. And I just feel like it's 2018, or, you know, I'm sorry, it's coming 3 years ago. It's like 2015. You can still have your fun Dragon Ball story, but still making it interesting, still having weight, still having the pacing be better. Like, there's just so much, and I feel like they just relied so much on just the name, and they thought the name itself would sell, and I guess they were right, because it's getting another movie. But I hope that they look on this and be like, hey, you know what, maybe we should plan this shit out better, maybe we should have better writing, maybe we should have better character animation, which I think, hopefully, if the new movie is a trend, they will fix that remedy. But because the fights were fucking cardboard, like, and Goku looks so plastic, it's a lot. But I don't want to get into it right now. Maybe I'll later on when I formulate my thoughts. Right now, I just wanted to get this off my chest.